This is Tony Hendrick with Painting Spirit, and today I'm going to talk about appreciation because I'm feeling a lot of it right now. And the appreciation always comes from within, but yesterday I tuned into a Zoom meeting through allartworks.net, which is excuse me, an online gallery that basically was born during Art Prize. Started off as a collector's show that was put together by some artists out of Grand Haven and a New York artist who's originally from Grand Haven, Tyler Loftus. And they organized shows during Art Prize to basically focus on, I don't know, what I would call, how do I want to categorize it? Art Prize has a tendency to look for the big wow factor, and these paintings are paintings I'm doing in my studio and other artists are doing in their studio, and just real heartfelt, heart-centered art. And their goal or focus was to get this art out there, out of the artist studios and into the hands of collectors. And it was really a heart-centered focus that I saw anyway. And they've continued. This began, I'm going to guess, 5, even 6 years ago, possibly, during Art Prize. And so yesterday, they, just like all of us, have been looking for creative ways to work with the situation we've had over the past year with COVID and shutdowns and that sort of thing, and social distancing. And so it's a bit of a challenge because one of their focuses, even though this is an online gallery, that they've really focused on putting together live shows to display the work in person for people to see, and that wasn't available during the lockdown, so they found creative ways to get the work out there. And yesterday they put together a Zoom call where artists joined in, and oh boy, I'm going to forget the last name of the artist, Dov, one of the artists that gets represented. I apologize. I'm not good with foreign names, remembering foreign names, and he's got kind of a foreign name. Maybe I'll give it to you tomorrow. But he basically was given a little presentation. It was very informal in the sense that it felt to me like one of my favorite things to do, which is to go to museums with other artist friends and basically look at art. And he lives in New York, so he has access to the Met, and so he shared works that are favorites of his from the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And let me kind of get into this painting here a little bit. My hand's kind of in the way of the camera a little. just want to get something kind of going with this. Yesterday I did a landscape and ended up working on it after the session was done. I'm just finding that I'm wanting to maybe go a little bit further with these, but one of the ways that can happen is for me to just focus on it and really get stuff happening. It's something with these paintings that there's a tendency with painting is to be very careful with it, and really I focus a lot on feeling my way through creating art, and part of that feeling out process can be quite fluid and flowing. It doesn't really need excuse me, it doesn't need to be this gentle touch always. So back to this Zoom meeting. He shared artwork from the mat in slide form, and there was just other artists on the Zoom meeting, and he opened it up for people to, basically if we were going to an art museum and visiting with each other, looking at the art, and he made comparisons. And what I found is he simply was sharing his appreciation for what he sees in other artists' work. And it's really, appreciation can be quite infectious. I just felt so good afterwards. And so that's why I wanted to bring it up as a topic today, because I just think, and all of this stuff I talk about with creating art, getting into that place of no mind and, things like that, that appreciation to me is probably the key component. And I found for myself, I can't really force myself into that. There's a lot of talk out there about how important appreciation is and being thankful, and it's true. But when you're in a space where you're not feeling that necessarily, forcing yourself to get into that space might be a little counterproductive. But once you're in it, which I definitely feel like I'm there, it's really nice to just acknowledge it and appreciate the appreciation. Really. And recognize and remind yourself how wonderful it is and how essential it is to creating artwork. It's really, he was sharing his appreciation for the work that he sees in the mat. What was nice is I don't have access to the mat, not like he does. And so him sharing the images, some of them he took himself. It was just a really fun experience. Anyway, allartworks.net. It's an online gallery. that I have some of my work on, and there's many other artists with their work on. And what's really nice is it feels to me like the work is chosen from a heart-centered place. And so you have a variety of different styles and personalities and approaches, and some of them might not be what you're looking for necessarily, but there is something there that you would be interested in. And if you're an artist, give them a shot as far as looking at your work. It's a juried show or a juried gallery. And there's a process to entering your work into it. But I've been in some brick and mortar galleries where they haven't really put the kind of passion and creativity and thoughtfulness into running the gallery and promoting the artist's work, and also just creating a community really for the artists. It's such a cool thing, especially now. To be able to do a Zoom call like that was just so refreshing. Even though I'm sure many of us are kind of tired of the whole Zoom lifestyle, but really there are some blessings to it. Like I said, be able to go through the mat without having to buy a plane ticket or take a day-long drive out to New York. If you haven't noticed, this is kind of a tree painting I've got going here. I have a lot of appreciation for trees. Love the gestures that trees hold. Let's see, this is a very green painting, but I'm adding lots of different colors in here and just playing with the space of the painting with those colors. Like I've said before, it's all about the underlying abstract qualities that you play around with abstraction. You find these things that happen with space and color and shapes and textures. Variety of ways of handling the paint. And subtlety, that's something that there's a quality to these 15-minute paintings that is very fresh, but there's also some subtlety that happens. And it happens out of just the allowing of the process to be fun. Let's see here. So how do I kind of bring this? Light is kind of a essential aspect of creating space. Dov actually talked about that a bit yesterday. That was my bell. So I'm gonna see if I can wrap this up here. Maybe throw in a strong highlight here. One little thing like that can really open up a painting. That was a bit too much, but... And maybe a little bit of lightening up this blue back here. So, allartworks.net, very heart-centered, art-run business. If you're used to brick and mortar galleries, like I said, that their gallery, to me, provides so much with it. The way they've got it set up, and the way they operate their business. So, give them a look if you're interested in buying some work, or if you're interested in showcasing your work. And get out your brushes, find the creativity inside of you, and explore and tap into that appreciation. And we'll see you tomorrow. I think today's Wednesday, is it? So midweek. Enjoy the rest of your week, and see you tomorrow.